So MSNBC, and this is the guy who...
great.
This is who their news people are, the worst people in the world. And so he has on a panel of assholes. And,
I know every one of them. They're all assholes, from Mehdi Hassan to Johnny Winter at the end.
So watch this. Watch what they say about Trump and DeSantis. Because Trump is supposed to be the worst thing in the world. Everybody has to vote Biden. And there's no room for doubt or dissent. Because it's such a existential threat that Donald Trump is such a crazy maniac. Listen to what they say.
David, last word to you. You and I have talked a great deal about DeSantis' authoritarianism in Florida. Nevertheless, were you shocked by his announcement this week that he would, quote, aggressively go after pardons for 1-6 insurrectionists?
No, Mehdi, I say this with conviction. I think Ron DeSantis is far more dangerous than Donald Trump for a very specific reason. Donald Trump is willing to ignore the rules, ignore the Constitution, and frankly lead to the incitement of January 6th. But Donald Trump is a transactional figure. He'll do whatever it takes to win. Ron DeSantis, I believe, actually in his ethos, is a culture warrior who wants to take us back 100 years and believes he can use the Constitution to that end, and ultimately has a very dark vision of what America will be. So the idea of pardoning January 6th convicts, if you will, at this point, is because he believes we are engaged in a real war that he has to win. Ron DeSantis tonight, a very dark figure on the political landscape, far more dangerous than Donald Trump.
So we just got done listening to MSNBC tell us that Donald Trump is the worst thing in ever.
I'm confused.
And now but there's someone else worse than Donald Trump. So should we vote for Donald Trump over that other guy? Because that guy's horrible. So do you see the game? They can't actually compare Joe Biden to anybody because they're fucking the same. So they have to do all this nightmare doomsday scenario shit and make out losers. Game show hosts and guys like Ron DeSantis.
You should be able to beat.
Guys like Ron DeSantis, who's super beatable. They have to make them out to be these 20-foot tall Hitler, Stalin, and they can transform into an animal.
They could have had 4 years. They had 4 years for Biden to just do any of the things that
he
ran
said he
on.
Would do. Maybe if Joe Biden gave us health care, like he said, with the public option.
Yeah.
Maybe if Joe Biden gave us a minimum wage increase, like he said he was going to do. Maybe if he made marijuana legal and freed the prisons of all the people. Maybe if he did any of those goddamn things.
Let's hope that his opponents are the height of evil.
Yeah,
that's what they have to bank on. I hope someone real evil runs against it.
That's it. And if someone normal runs against him, we're going to pretend that person is the height of evil, and we can't chance. That's all they have.
Well, they have Ukraine. That should be a real helper.
So let's watch the rest of this clip. Watch how they all nod along with this guy.
Quick follow-up, David. He is a dark figure, but it was hilarious on Wednesday night when that Twitter Spaces thing fell apart. What do you think was going through his head?
Mehdi.
And now they're trying to make fun of Ron DeSantis when he did his launch for his campaign. He did it on Twitter, and there were technical problems. He still got 6 million views on his launch, which is about, 7,000 more times the viewership that Mehdi Hassan has talking to these three assholes.
I mean, these are the same people that, whenever Mehdi Hassan was back in his radical cleric years, would have been calling for him to get renditioned.
That's right.
And putting Guantanamo. Now they're all hanging out, having a chuckle, including the weird ghost from Matrix 2 that
90 years ago, Eddie, 90 years ago, FDR addressed millions of Americans on AM radio, but Elon Musk and Ron DeSantis couldn't address a couple 100,000 on Twitter Spaces. A humiliating night for Ron DeSantis.
Made me laugh. Molly, David, Stewart, thank you all for your...
Oh, that's that Molly Young fast idiot.
You don't recognize her?
Oh, she grew up rich and privileged and doesn't have any idea about how life is for people at all.
I've seen her multiple times.
Super rich.
Yeah.
Super rich. And there's nothing wrong with being super rich. Just know that you're out of touch. But she gets writing jobs because her mom was a famous writer. Mm-hmm. And she's in the clique, and she's never said anything interesting or on point or worth repeating, but she gets that, but she's in that thing. Mm-hmm. And she says the thing everyone says, Donald Trump is horrible, Ron DeSantis, or now she's saying Ron DeSantis.
Stuff. I've seen her with some.
Now Ron DeSantis is horrible. Now that he's worse than Trump. So she'll say that. That's all these people are. That's it. And that now you know why no one watches fucking MSNBC. No one watches these shows. Here, I love Andrea says, dangerous, very dark figure. That's anyone who threatens Democrats politically. Losing is something they fear terribly. And that's what this is all about. They fear losing to Donald Trump and Republicans. Hey, Hitler 3.0 just dropped. So now it's Ron DeSantis. It's not. I thought it was Trump. So it's just anybody who's a Republican.
We should just not even have an election this year. We just Biden. We can't afford to risk democracy with an election.
Hey, everybody, only $10 to go see my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny, at jimmydore.com. And come see us do a live show. We're going to be in Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Bakersfield, California, Baltimore, San Francisco, Huntington Beach, Rosemont, and Chicago, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, and more. We're going to be in New York, Stamford, Connecticut, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, San Diego, everywhere. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all our tickets.